Hi and welcome to your tutorial video. Fincon Accounting provides you with the functionality to import your bank statements when doing bank reconciliations. There is, however, some preliminary setup that needs to be done. The first step is to create your bank statement definitions. This is needed for Fincon Accounting to process the data from the CSV bank statement, which you need to upload during the bank statement reconciliation process. A bank statement definition is quite simply a description of what your bank statement CSV file looks like. Fincon Accounting will use this to, amongst other things, know which columns represent what information. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a bank statement definition. Log into Fincon Accounting. Navigate to Ledger, then to Bank Reconciliation, and lastly to Bank Statement Definition. Enter a name for the definition in the Definition Name text box and press Enter. A good idea is to name the definitions in accordance with the banks that the statement will come from, such as ABSA or FNB for example. This is because most of the time you should only have one definition per bank account. Once you've entered the name for the definition, the following message box will appear. The definition does not exist. Do you want to create it? Click the Yes button. Select the delimiter that your statement uses to separate columns from the Column Delimiter drop-down box. You are able to choose from the following options: comma, tab, semicolon, asterisk, or other. If you choose the other option, you have to specify what the delimiter is in the text box next to the drop-down box. If you do not know what delimiter your statement uses, open the file with Notepad. There you will clearly see what separates the content. Most of the time it will be commas. Specify the date format that the statement uses in the Date Format text box. If your statement separates the year, month, and date using either a hyphen, slash, or blank space, please select the appropriate options to ensure the import works as expected. Select the appropriate format of the year, month, and day from the Year Format, Month Format, and Day Format drop-down boxes. Select the amount of header lines included in your statement from the Header Lines drop-down box. Note that a header line is any line that doesn't contain any transaction information. A common example of this is a line of column headings. Select the appropriate transaction order from the Transaction Order drop-down box. This is basically just whether your bank statement file lists transactions from old to new or vice versa. Select whether to use the statement balance or the account balance from the Opening Balance drop-down box. The difference is that if you use the Statement Balance option, Fincon Accounting will use the statement's opening balance to check whether your reconciliation balances. This is a recommended option. If you use the Account Balance option, Fincon Accounting will recalculate the closing balances as per the importer's transactions and won't check if the reconciliation balances. Now you need to navigate to the Columns tab. Select the column numbers that apply to the various transaction elements from the drop-down boxes. You do not have to use all of them. It depends on your specific file. Note that there are two reference options. This is for situations where a statement has two reference columns. Both can then be selected to be combined in the import. Now you can test if your bank statement import will work. Navigate to the Test Import tab. Click the Open File button. Select a CSV statement to test and click the Open button. If all is set up correctly, the grid will show all the correct information in the correct columns. Click the Accept button to save the definition. Now you are done with creating a bank statement definition. You can move on to creating automatic linking rules if you so wish, or go straight to doing your bank statement reconciliation. Thank you for watching and happy accounting.